This is the Audi Quattro S1 Group B rally car from the 1980s. It boasts over 600 horsepower when at full boost on the turbo, and is one of the most iconic vehicles in motorsport history. Today we're going to be taking on this short rally stage to see who's faster, one of these beasts from the 80s or a modern 2024 Toyota Yaris WRC car, and to see basically how far technology has come. How much faster is it? Is it faster? Is the old technology and the outlawed power of these beasts still faster than today's modern cars? Because the reason that these cars were outlawed in the end was that they were too fast. So they were forbidden and obviously dropped for the subsequent years in the late 80s. So how fast are the modern cars compared to that? Are the cars too fast today? You know, why are fast cars allowed today when they weren't allowed back in the day? Well, I think one of the reasons is obviously spectator safety. This car that we're driving here, obviously it doesn't have incredible grip. It's pretty good, but it's so quick in a straight line. You put your foot down and it just goes. I'm driving overly cautious here just because I want to keep it on the road, and believe me, I did crash this a couple of times myself, but it is quite difficult to control. You have to be really cautious, otherwise you do just end up sending it into the trees. And obviously in real life there was unfortunately cases where drivers would lose control of these cars and plough into crowds, and you know, people lost their lives unfortunately. So yeah, it's one of those, it's so good to see in real life. These cars, they're unbelievably brilliant. But I think nowadays in 2024, obviously spectator safety is much better than it was back in the 80s. Spectators are, well, in most places a little bit more further back from the action. You saw them classic shots of the Portuguese rally where you've got spectators literally standing all over the stage, having to actually move out the way as the cars come through, and it's just crazy how it used to be. Oh, ignore that, go off there a little bit. But yeah, so this car, oh, again, ignore that. I'm back on the road now. But it's got so much power, and it just feels fantastic. Honestly, when you put your foot down, it just goes. You do have to get on the brakes reasonably early. You do have to do a little bit of a Scandinavian flick to get it into the corner. Dab the handbrake. Unfortunately, for some reason on the sim, this model doesn't have a handbrake. I don't know why, but that does make it a lot more tricky. But it's still great fun to drive. It doesn't have loads of grip. Obviously, it's on gravel, so there isn't going to be much grip, but it's still fun to drive. It's quite loose. You do have to stay on top of the steering. Preemptive counter steering. There's a cool jump coming up here, by the way. I do brake for it a little bit because I'm not sure how the car's going to handle on landing. Again, I am being cautious because I don't want to crash, and as you can see, it is easy to go off the stage. But I'm using the rally, well, I'm not actually using the rally mode on Assetto Corsa. I'm using the Pace Notes Copilot app that you can find on the app bar with Custom Shaders patch. And but I'm not using the rally mode because when I try and load in the actual physical rally mode, it just crashes for me on the latest update, so I'm not sure what that's about. But this is basically the same thing. It's got a timer, it's got the pace notes, you've got the rally stage, and you've got the gravel texture on the road, and you've got a rally car. What more do you need? So it's really cool. This for me is just as good as any WRC game. Obviously it's a lot easier to install and everything with a normal WRC game, but once you've got all this working and you've got the right track, the right cars, the pace notes and everything, I think this is just unmatched, to be honest. It really is. Like I said in my last rally video, I think this is the modern equivalent of Richard Burns Rally. I say modern, it's like 10 years old now, this game, but yeah, we're coming along here, coming up towards the end of the stage, and yeah, it's so much fun to drive. It's a real challenge. I'll tell you now, it's much more challenging to drive this than it is the modern WRC cars. It really is. Just the amount of power you've got to handle, the amount of grip you have. You really have to plan ahead, and you really have to listen to the pace notes, and you do have to drive pretty cautiously. But here we are then, we're coming up to the end. This is the finish of the stage. I didn't realise when I was driving, and I thought this was the end of the stage. So I power through the stop signs and then realise I've made my mistake. But let's move on to the 2024 car now. We'll see how that gets on. Here we are then in the 2024 car. Off the line. You can see how fast it is as well off the line. super quick. Even though this is not as fast in a straight line, it almost is. So, and it feels a lot faster. It feels like you're going along the road a heck of a lot faster. And the Group B car has just over 600 horsepower at full boost. And this has just over 500 horsepower with the hybrid and obviously the engine combined. So it is a little bit less power. But the one thing you feel instantly when you drive this car is just the amount of grip that it has. It's like it's on rails. It's like a different category, to be honest. It's like, you know, driving a Formula 1 or Formula 3 or something. It's crazy how much grip this has. It fills you with so much more confidence. You're able to carry much more speed into the corners, and it allows you to basically be less, what's the word, cautious around the stage. So you can be a lot less cautious, and you can carry more speed with the extra confidence, and you can go over the jumps a bit quicker because you've got that extra confidence. You know the front end's going to turn, and you know that if you do lose control a little bit, there seems to be more drive from the front wheels in this car, so it's much easier to pull the front end around when you do get into a slide. So I love it. I think it's fantastic. It automatically feels 100 times faster. It isn't 100 times faster, which you'll see at the end, but it feels like you're in warp speed compared to the Group B car, to be honest. And yeah, it just makes you concentrate, and you still have to drive this cautiously. I'm still driving cautiously here. I'm not obviously a pro rally driver or anything, but I am still driving cautiously. But I'm driving much less cautiously than I was in the Audi, just because of the amount of grip and like I say, overall grip that the car has. And yeah, it just fills you with confidence. And obviously what it would be difficult is to extract the last sort of 10 seconds out of this car. So you can drive the car pretty fast, but it's that final 10 seconds, it's the bravery, it's having the balls to carry that extra speed, knowing the circuit, trusting the pace notes. You know, I'm sure it's a little bit like Formula 1. Formula 1 cars are easy to drive, you know, not fast, but they're easy to drive, you know, at a decent pace. But if you really want to extract that last like second out of a Formula 1 car, you really need, that's where your talent comes in, where you're on the throttle, you're using the steering, using the pedals, you're braking super late and into the corners, and obviously early on the traction and stuff like that. It's the same with this. You can drive this at a decent pace like I'm doing, but it's the last 10% where the practice and the experience and the talent really comes in, where you are on edge through all of these corners. There's one or two of these corners where I'm like, oh, that was quite good. But, you know, a top rally driver will be way beyond that around every corner. And obviously, this I only did one run in this car on this track, so this is my first time doing it, so I don't really know the track that well. Massive air here, look at that, absolutely awesome, and managed to control on the landing. Normally when you go over jumps like that, there's a corner after it or something, but yeah, managed to control it. Again, it's just much easier to drive. Like I say, it's more like it's on rails than anything else. And to be honest, I like driving Formula 1 cars in sim, just because I like being on the edge of control and going super fast, and this for me is the rally version of that. So it's, you know, you're driving super fast, you're close to limit, but there's so much more to find and so much more time to find, and that's what I love. I love extracting or building up towards the absolute maximum pace that you can possibly go. So I love this. For me, this is more fun for me than driving the Group B car, but I know 80% of you will disagree and think that the Group B car is much more fun and engaging than this, and that's fine. We're all allowed different opinions. For me, this is more fun, and if you get the chance to go and download these mods, please do, because it's amazing. I'll leave the link in the description to the circuit and this car, so you can go and try it. I don't have the link to the Group B car, it's there somewhere, but it's a long time ago I downloaded it, so just Google it. There's loads of different versions. But yeah, what a circuit this is. If you love rally, you've got to try this. I featured this circuit on my last rally video as well, that did quite well on the channel. But across the line here, 4:35, so we're, you know, 30 seconds faster than the Group B car. I could have gone faster in the Group B car. Sorry mate, I'll stop here now. Sorry, I forgot last time in me Audi. But yeah, I could have definitely gone faster in the Group B car, but yeah, you can see there's definitely a clear difference. Today's cars are definitely faster, just the way suspension and tyre technology and everything moves on, isn't it? But yeah, really hope you enjoyed the video. Please do leave a like and a subscribe, I really appreciate it. Let me know what videos you want to see in the future. And also Happy New Year. 2025 coming soon. Hopefully it'll be a great year for the channel. Thank you so much all for your support. I've got 150 subscribers at the time of recording, so that's really amazing. So I really appreciate your support. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.